3. A groan breaks through my lips as my eyes struggle open. The light beyond my lids is like a sun searing into my vision, and I wince, my body lurching back as if I've been burned by a flame. I try time and again to see past the glare, but my vision is bleary. All I can make out is white. The plodding of shoes against tile pounds through my head like beats on a drum, dull and distant, as if I'm hearing every step from underwater. Mumbling voices join the low tread of footsteps, making me aware of several people around me, but I don't know who they are. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know where I am. I try to make sense of the last thing I remember. In my mind, I see my mother again, accompanied by 2 enforcers as well as that third unknown man. I can also recall the pinch of a needle in my neck. But anything that occurred after that moment is lost to the black hole of unconsciousness, and now I'm here, wherever here is. Only one lucid train of thought takes hold in my brain. Am I in detention? Is this my re-education? Over the next few moments, the grogginess in my head eases, bringing the room into focus. Grunting, I try to push up into a sitting position. But when I move, something solid constricts my body, pinning me flat to the surface beneath me. I raise my head just enough to peer down at my chest, and it's only when I glimpse the steel band restraints across my legs and torso that I'm able to feel them. Panic washes over me as I fight to get free, thrashing and screaming until my voice is hoarse and I lack the energy to keep struggling. Ragged breaths scorch my lungs as my body goes limp. I press my eyes shut for a minute, then open them, risking a glance back down at my legs. I've been stripped of everything I was wearing before, right down to my watch. A skimpy white hospital gown has replaced my exam-approved clothes, and I'm strapped to a metal table in the middle of a bright room I don't recognize. A heart monitor beeps beside my head, mimicking every racing beat of my heart, while an IV stand is positioned on my other side, leading down into tubes protruding from the crook of my right elbow and hand. The second I glimpse them, that surge of panic returns. Suddenly, I no longer care why I'm here. I don't need to know what these people, whoever they are, intend to do with me. I just need to get out of this place. The subject is awake. My gaze snaps in the direction of a woman's voice, locking on at least a dozen people standing a few feet to my right, all clothed in the same white coat the man who drugged me at my house was wearing. Fear creeps across my skin like an itch as I glance between the curious faces observing me. One man scribbles down notes on a computerized tablet, while another scratches his chin and looks me over like I'm bacteria in a petri dish that he's viewing under a microscope. An older woman approaches me with a syringe clasped in her slender hand, her eyes dull and lacking even the slightest hint of concern. The others share her blank expression. As I take in their faces, reality hits me. Laid out on this table, I'm helpless and weak. I can't move. I can't run away. I can't even find the strength to fight back when the woman pushes a needle into the vein at the crook of my elbow. A hiss escapes me as she takes 3 vials worth of my blood, the deep red filling the glass tubes to the brim. Once finished, she removes the needle and sticks a small, round bandage over the puncture mark in my skin. She then turns and walks away without saying a word. As she crosses the room, I narrow my eyes, trying to sharpen her indistinct figure. But my head is still reeling from whatever I was injected with earlier. Through the smog clouding my head, I can make out her fingers tapping against a touchscreen keyboard embedded into the surface of a long countertop lining the white wall to my left. A hologram image projects above her head, displaying several rows of jumbled text, but my vision is too fuzzy to make out the words, my eyes swathed by dancing black cotton balls. The woman swipes her fingers across the keyboard again, then pivots to face a steel bowl set out on the gleaming countertop beside her. Part of me believes that bowl wasn't there before, but the drugs racing through my body are making it difficult to be sure of anything. Except the fear. That much I'm certain of. A sizzling sound floods the room as the woman pours the contents of the 3 vials into the bowl. Sparks of electricity jolt across the exterior, reacting to my blood, and wisps of smoke rise up from the metal, casting a slight haze over the counter. Satisfied, the woman peers back at the hologram image, appraising it for a moment before tapping her nails against the keyboard again. At the press of a button, a lid snaps over the bowl and the metal container spins in place. Each rotation is faster than the last, and as the bowl moves, a code manifests overhead. Line after line of incomprehensible symbols scrawled across the glowing hologram image. I try to make sense of them, but there's nothing there to make sense of. I might as well be looking at a foreign language. "Doctor," the woman gasps. "You need to see this." Terror consumes me at her incredulous tone. What is she seeing? What's wrong with me? Hysteria once again overpowers my senses, and I'm consumed by the need to escape this place. But I have no energy. My mouth is too dry to swallow, my head is spinning, and the fluorescent lights overhead are making me unbearably nauseous. Bile inches up my throat. I pull against my restraints one more time, my teeth clenching together to counter the strain. The soft thud of footsteps draws my attention away from my struggle, and my body goes still as my eyes flick to the side, locking on the man now standing next to the woman, his hands tucked behind his waist as he examines the hologram image, his mouth set in a serious line. He's young, no older than his mid-20s, if that, and he's tall, with auburn brown hair parted neatly to one side, and a clean-shaven jaw. Rectangular, thin-rimmed glasses frame perceptive gray eyes. The woman leans toward him as he studies the hologram, her voice just loud enough for me to hear over the hum of the spinning bowl. "Her blood type," she whispers, her husky tone dripping with awe. "It's changing." I may not know much about science or anything medical having to do with the human body, but I know enough to be certain that what she's saying isn't possible. Not without unnatural intervention, at least. The man straightens, adjusting his spotless white coat. "Fascinating," he murmurs. His eyes shift to mine, and the traitorous monitor beside me betrays me with a string of rapid beeps, the high-pitched computerized echo of my racing heart revealing my fear. As the man approaches, his pale lips curl into a smile. "Hello, Wynter. My name is Dr. Richter. I'll be taking care of you." "Taking care of me? Why am I here?" I breathe, my voice raspy. "What are you going to do to me?" "Shh, hush now," he croons, patting my shoulder. "I assure you all your questions will be answered in time." He lowers his eyes, and I follow his gaze to his hand, where a syringe is laid out on his palm. It takes me a moment to realize the glass vial is empty. But for now, a wave of vertigo hits me as the sharp features of his face melt into a blur. "You must sleep." "How?" I trail off, my tongue too heavy to speak. I lift my head as much as I'm able to, spotting the last of the blue liquid disappearing into my body through a thin tube in my arm. The drug acts quickly, stealing my words. As the drowsiness returns to pull me under again, the doctor's smile is all I see.